All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 17 of that crypto gaming show is now live. We've got a special guest, someone that's been here before, someone that had the balls to challenge Jesus himself. It was an intense 1v1 and something that I will always honor. The founder and CEO of Star Atlas, the man. Oh my god, I'm hearing myself. Someone help. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Anyway, they said it wasn't possible. I said it was possible. We all said it was possible. We've got Michael in the house. What's good? And then we've got the music on like 4K right now.
GM, Jesus. Man, a lot of energy.
No coffee. No coffee. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I need to drop the caffeine.
Yeah. I've been feeling like using the bathroom a lot when TMI. Okay, way TMI. But pretty much coffee bad for me, I think. Maybe I'm doing it too often. Maybe you're supposed to limit your intake. So I've stopped doing it as often. It's been good for my system, and I'm okay. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, you know, science fact of the day: coffee is a diuretic, so it does dehydrate you, and
that makes sense.
Use the restroom. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, I mean, last time we were on, let's be honest, I was depressed. You were probably pretty depressed with the market conditions at the time. But, you know, here we are, a couple months into the future. Everything's flipped. Everything's 10xing. Everybody's being moon boys again. All of a sudden, Solana Maxis are here. Michael, I mean, I don't know if you were expecting this one. Obviously, you were because you're still on Solana. But, I mean, personally speaking, we kind of called it. You gotta flex that one, can't? Yeah, you gotta flex it.
You know, you know me, man. I've been in the space for a long time, so I've been on this roller coaster for 10 years, and what I've learned over time is really to try to temper the emotion, both on the upside and on the downside. We had a vision, we had a goal, we had a objective, and all we did was continue working towards that and making sure we survived. So it certainly feels good. My hopes are high. The team sentiment is incredibly strong. Our community sentiment is incredibly strong, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And, you know, we're going to embrace this and hope it stays with us through 2024.
Yeah, exactly. And something I wanted to showcase specifically on this thumbnail right before I move on was the distinction of the sentiment back in 2022 to 2023. You were talking about emotional sentiment and how people might be freaking out. Right now, it's amazing. A month in the future, we might be freaking out. Who knows? But the one thing that I do know is that back in 2022, this game was a heck of a lot different than it is today. And that's something that we can carry on to most of these crypto games that continue their development despite what the heck is going on in the markets. Most crypto games, fun fact, take longer than 4 years to build. That might be a big revelation, but something of the scale of Star Atlas is definitely going to take pretty long. But something that was very interesting, an astute observation as someone that covers the Jesus Martinez channel, pretty wild here, that I would even figure out that this happened. But apparently yesterday, we had breaking news that Star Atlas met the requirements of being on the top 10 crypto gaming tokens of December 2023. Isn't that wild that for the first time in history, Paulus is on there? Obviously, we're not going to be touching base on it because Wagner wants to talk about different things because he's just too cool for school. But I myself said that if you have the balls to challenge Classy in a 1v1, then you are someone that is a friend of the channel. And that will always be the case. It will always be the case.
Hey, you did great, man. You did great, especially given
for the 4 hours of gameplay, yeah.
Yeah, for the 4 hours you sunk into it. But hey, I do want to set the record straight. You know, we agreed to hover racing. There was a winner in that. It wasn't you, but you did great. And I'm down for a rematch.
Beat so hard. You got a nice little selfie there in the meantime, so that was always great for you.
I don't even know where you dug that up from.
We're like blockchain sleuths. Now we're Twitter sleuths. So there was a new trailer. I didn't end up looking at this one because I clicked off of games. But is this one, like, is this worthy of showcasing on the stream as a breaking news on YouTube? You would do it?
100%.
All right, we're going to watch party this. And this is going to be sick, I hope. Okay, let's do it.
I'm not getting audio, but probably because I'm not listening to the stream.
Oh, can you hear it?
I can't, but that's okay as long as the
is the stream hearing it? Guys, are you hearing this? Please tell me you are. Can't hear? No. Fuck. Hold on. We're gonna be troubleshooting, guys. This is like the first time I actually use this platform, so it should work though. Through the Chrome tab. Also share tab audio. I think I've figured it out. Breaking news. I figured out how to use a social media platform. All right, let's do this again. Do you hear it this time? All right, let's go. Ooh, with your Lobby. I love that car. Is this a car about to like break it down or something? Yeah. Ah, PvP. We're doing team deathmatch now? What the hell? Dude, I didn't even see this. Oh, that's sick. Ragdoll. So we got skins. That's not a capital ship, right? That's just a large ship?
That is a capital ship.
Oh, so they're... Okay. I thought they were even bigger.
There's a commander ship, which is one size larger than that.
Is that it?
That's it. Let me break it down for you real quick. So our next big
please.
release, R 2.2 in the showroom, the core gameplay loop there is combat racing, multiplayer combat racing. So that's what we were showcasing at the beginning. I've described this as a Mario Kart on steroids. You saw the boost in there where the Scud passed by. I think it was.
Oh, that was sick.
A Lobby.
It was here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's multiplayer racing with a bunch of different courses, tournaments, ship configuration, ship mastery, character progression. You're leveling up, you're improving your car, you're swapping out modules, you're swapping out components, and competing in these races. But we also have a couple of experimental modes in there, such as the third-person shooter that you saw, and that will have a couple of different gameplay modes as well. So team deathmatch, capture the flag. Domination, etc. And then this is a brand new map that we built out just for this third-person shooter.
Damn. So you're just dropping the bombs left and right. So we're getting the combat racing first. We're getting the boost, all those different new mechanics. There's apparently laser eyes on this ship right here, which I've never seen before. That ship looks sick. And then this is the experimental mode. This is going to be like Fortnite, where it's magically going to take off and become the primary mode. Got it.
I'm just to be honest, I am most excited about third-person shooter right now. I can't wait to
Really?
get in there. Oh yeah. I mean, the combat racing is the core loop, but I'm super excited for this.
You're excited for people to just ragdoll all over the place?
Yeah, and what's funny is it for me it kind of completely came out of the blue.
All good.
Excuse me. I wasn't even expecting this, and then we had a demo of this leading up to Breakpoint, which was just in November, over in Amsterdam, and I saw some video content days before my keynote presentation, and now I'm hooked. I can't wait to get in and play this live.
Yeah, when are we playing this? Is there a date for this, or is this breaking news?
Well, so anyone in our community knows we're pretty reserved on sharing any kinds of dates, but since we're on stream and your audience likes the alpha, we are targeting an interim release 2.1.9. We're hoping that comes out before the end of the year. Could be in the last week of December. Otherwise, it'll carry over into January.
Ah, so it's that tentative date where it might happen, but it might not happen as well. So just it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen. Got it. Amazing revelation here.
Well, welcome to game development.
Said every crypto gaming project on the planet. But it is like that sometimes. And by the way, guys, apparently I've got the hookup on the buddy system. Is there a buddy system now? Everybody loves buddy systems. You were telling me about this apparent affiliate program that's now on Star Atlas. And as a content creator, you gotta get in there. You gotta hustle. So in the link in the description, if you're gonna buy something on Star Atlas, we're gonna be touching base on that. Then go ahead, visit the link in the description, click that buddy link, and support the channel. Is this is brand new, right? This has been up for what, 1-2 weeks at this point?
Yeah, it's maybe 2 months now, 1 to 2 months
wow.
at most.
It's been a
So
while.
it is still pretty new. Let me cover it a little bit because it's
Sure.
a very strong affiliate program. We call it StarPath. That's our Web3 affiliate system. We've worked with Buddy and Buddy Link. That's from the Laddercaster team on Solana. They've built out the fully on-chain affiliate technology, and we've integrated that technology into this. So all of the transactions and all of the linkages, they're all completely Web3. All of the payouts and discounts, etc., purely Web3. But to walk through the economics, it's very strong if you're a new user coming in. If you use someone else's buddy link, you get a 10% discount off of primary market
So
purchases.
if you use my link in the description, you get 10% off.
Highly recommended to use Jesus's link and get 10% off all your purchases. Now, the person who's referring also receives a benefit. They get 25% of any revenue that comes in. Now, on primary markets, let's say it's $100,000 ship, that's a $25,000 payout.
Very juicy.
If they're buying from the secondary market, this is very important. The only caveat, if they're buying from the secondary market, that revenue obviously doesn't go to us. That's peer to peer. However, there is a royalty fee built into the marketplace. It's 4% starting. And so you would get 25% of that 4% of the spend. So I will note that the secondary marketplace inventory, so that inventory that's for sale by other players, is drying up rapidly. There's only about $500,000 worth of ships on the marketplace from other users. Yeah,
but
we've
didn't
seen
we have more than that in volume over the past week?
Oh, our volumes.
We haven't even talked about that. We'll get there.
Yeah, our volumes have been through the roof, but so there's very little inventory that's existing that's sitting on the marketplace on secondary. I only mention that because it's very likely we get back into that primary market territory, and the rewards on this are great. There's a third component. It's golden tickets. I know we're going to chat a little bit about golden tickets towards the end, and the reality is that program is winding down in about a week and a half, so not much time left on that. But these golden tickets enter you into a raffle. I'll give a shout out to Hedgehog Markets here. These guys built out the raffle system on our behalf, and essentially you enter these golden tickets in, and you have a chance to win over $150,000 in loot every single week. Tomorrow is the 7th event, and then next week will be the last event. It ran for 8 weeks. Something like $1.6 million in loot will have been distributed through that.
Wow. And how do people get in that?
Well, you play Sage Labs, so I don't know if we want to.
Sage Labs.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to jump right into that, or we'll tackle that one later.
Well, we'll do it right after the volume one, because you just told me that 500K worth of ships are on secondary, but from what I can see here, just through the beginning of December, this isn't updated, right? This was the 10th. You had almost 800K worth of assets that have been sold on Star Atlas's marketplace, which it seems pretty absurd, to be honest. That's crazy.
The numbers have been looking great. Obviously, since June, we saw an uptick there. There was a promotion campaign that we ran, kind of tapered off into August, and then September is when we launched Sage Labs. That's our fully on-chain RTS browser-based game, and the economy is live. It's actually booming. We're seeing people make real yield, and what's important about this is it's not based off of the historical model of hyperinflationary asset emission or token emission. This is players all transacting and trading with one another. They're moving around the map, they're gathering resources, they're crafting components and compounds, they're using those in redemption recipes, including the golden tickets, and they're trading these with each other. And um, there's been a ton of interest in the game. We're doing a ton of transactions on Solana. The user base is consistently growing, and yeah, revenues are reflecting that.
Yeah, I'd been doing some research before we got into this interview, and I noticed that apparently the player count on Solana is still pretty high, and a big reason for that is Star Atlas. I think it might be people interacting with their wallets, because clearly the UA5 game, it's nowhere near being finished. People are interacting within Sage Labs. I saw this number. It was about a month ago at this point, where Sage Labs had somewhere around 15% of all Solana volume. Is that still near that ballpark? Have we moved down? Solana's blown the heck up, so clearly there's been a lot going on there, but you had to have benefited from that.
Yeah, so we're still about 10%
That's
of
crazy.
Solana's daily transaction volume. It's in the neighborhood of 6 million instructions per day or 2 million transactions per day. We're able to batch instructions together into a single transaction so we can be a bit more efficient. We've actually optimized our system a little bit to reduce the transaction count, but as I said, the full game is on chain. Everything from fleet management to inventory to movement to coordinates to extraction, crafting systems, combat systems, all of these are fully executed with Solana as the backend for the game. And so, with a relatively low player count, we are seeing a significant amount of Solana transaction volume. We
Yeah.
don't really benefit from that directly. However, we did also build out a tool called Atlas Prime, which is a proxy service and fee payer. And so our users don't have to pay transaction fees in Solana. They can actually use the in-game currency that they're earning while they play Atlas, and they pay all of their transaction fees in Atlas. Now, what happens is that Atlas goes to us, we pay the SOL on their behalf, and they have a clean, seamless, and simple user experience in the game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, when we were trying to figure out how to play Sage Labs, I needed some Atlas in my wallet. The fees are really low,
Right.
so I didn't have any complaints once I actually got it on there. Obviously, there's a bit of a learning curve operating a Phantom wallet for the first time and everything, but once you figure it out, it's not that difficult. There's a good reason that they have 10% of all the volume on Solana. Crypto gaming, I talked to Gala Games' as president of blockchain, and why this is relevant is because he chatted about the fact that now there's some kind of entertainment brand, an L1 brand, but they started off with crypto gaming because they wanted to test the limits of blockchain in terms of speed. Crypto gaming has got to be the ultimate test because every little interaction is on chain. And it always terrifies me because I remember Solana, it shut down it halted for a very brief amount of time, a couple times in its history. It's been doing a lot better lately. I remember there was like Fire Dancer Validator or something like that came out, and everybody was moonboying over it going to 1 million TPS and something like that. I didn't understand it too much, but I'm sure it's good news for Solana.
It's
And
great.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
it's great news. Yeah.
Yeah. A big problem for me has always been security. I'm very scared of what can possibly happen when things get hacked. And one of the things that got hacked literally today was Ledger. Ledger had their front end seems like hacked. There was some kind of GitHub thing going on there, and it is what it is. And so a lot of people thought that they got exploited. It seems like because of the bear market, the guy only sold 500K worth of assets, which is crazy with how widespread that issue was. But are we worried about maybe like the Star Atlas GitHub or like the Solana GitHub getting infiltrated and us having some kind of issue in the crypto gaming space because of that? Is there a world where even if Solana gets hacked, that the Star Atlas ecosystem is fine? Like, are we thinking about security? Because it feels like security is like the #1 issue in crypto right now.
Yeah, we hold security paramount to everything that we do. We have an extensive process of uh, program or product development that goes into internal auditing, that then goes into an external audit, looking at every facet and every component of the release, not just whether or not the smart contract or program itself is safe and secure, but then also considering things like game theory and ways that players or people can manipulate programs and exploit it in ways that perhaps we just didn't consider it when we were structuring the logic of the game itself. So security goes into everything that we do, but in fairness, it always is a risk, right? This issue with Ledger, and this just happened early this morning, but it was the Wallet Connect library that they were using that I think a malicious library got uploaded. And so, when you're working with either open source software or integrating a number of different applications, programs, libraries into your code base, you're relying on them to consistently maintain, manage, and update all of those libraries as well, and monitor those libraries. So what happened with Ledger is, again, one of those libraries were compromised, and that exposed any product that was integrating that Wallet Connect library into their application. Now, fortunately, we had not integrated that into any of our programs, so we're safe from that perspective. But look, security is always a risk, and we always recommend using cold storage, using a hardware wallet, and we're setting up systems throughout the Star Atlas universe that help protect users against these types of exploits. Just a very quick example, it's a player profile system, this account hierarchy and architecture that allows you to store all of your assets in cold storage that never actually touch the application itself. When you go into a game, you set up a game session hot wallet. That hot wallet has permissions to take actions on behalf of your wallet, so it can play the game, and you can even do things like auto approve all of your transactions. But if someone were to exploit that wallet and try to transfer out your assets, they wouldn't be able to do that. And so it's always cat and mouse with security versus innovation. And obviously, we're doing everything we can to stay ahead of the curve on the security front and make sure that our users are protected.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there is no sane security expert that will say that something is indestructible and unhackable. Anything can be hacked. That's the number one lesson that we got today. Thankfully, you weren't exposed to it. We've been exposed in the past to some unfortunate situations within Solana and FTX, but we've moved forward. We're doing great now. We're chilling. And that's kind of it, right? Innovation, it is what it is. We break a lot of things. We lose a lot of money. We gain a lot of money in the process. We try to change the world, and taking that risk sometimes has its pros and cons, but making sure that you have it in the forefront, 100% important. Recently we got the news that Solana's ecosystem has been blowing up, but there's this little game. It's a very small game. It's called Star Atlas, and apparently it's the biggest game on one of the biggest blockchains on the entire planet, called Solana. So just very small game here. Has the most active users on GameFi in the Solana ecosystem, which, by the way, Solana is one of the biggest crypto gaming ecosystems on the planet. So Star Atlas is that. Apparently, GemX Trading here, thank you for the Riz there. And just another slight flex here. Star Atlas wins the People's Choice Awards. Congrats. Look at that minion. So excited. And Fakoja out here talking about it. What do you say as someone? Were you the one that accepted the award? You did do it, didn't you? Yeah, you talked about it, didn't you?
Of course.
Should we show this?
Sure.
All right, let's show this. Were you just reading off a script and then you just like uploaded it there? Because there were a lot of people there that were just reading off scripts, and I was like, fuck me, dude.
No, I always just improvise.
You improvise? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, even here, you hopped on and then, we instantly go. That's how it needs to be. We like breaking things in crypto. We like just ripping it out there.
Hey.
Star Atlas winning. Let's go ahead and watch this juicy little clip.
Everyone, Michael here with Star Atlas, and I just want to say how stoked I am to be here at the Games
really
GG
stoked.
Awards for the second year running. Last year, we had a phenomenal year, and this year we've been able to rack up 4 nominations, including Best RPG, Best Fully On-Chain Game with Sage Labs, Best Graphics, and my personal favorite, Most Anticipated Game. I just want to take a moment to say how grateful I am to the Games GG team for continuing to host this incredible event. to everyone out there in the audience that voted for Star Atlas in any one of these categories. And I especially want to thank the Star Atlas team and
Hide your
community
moms.
being with us through the best of times, through the worst of times, through all of the ups and downs that the last year and a half has thrown at us. You've continued to support us. You've continued to be the driver for this dream of Star Atlas. So this award is not about us, it's all about you. And again, a special thank you to you. And I really want to say how much I'm looking forward to an incredibly strong 2024.
Listen, I'm very proud of this clip because I watched the games GG, and the number one complaint that I had with everybody that was there was, for one, there were a lot of puns that cringed me the hell out. Like when they put Pirate Nations for the best on-chain game, which was a steal, to be honest. I don't know how Sage Labs didn't win that. The
agree.
guy right after they won, he was like, "Arg, matey," and I just died inside. To be honest, I think I dissipated out of reality, out of existence. Maybe I became a little high, hopefully, to cope with the depression that I gained after that. Some winners are Web 2 games. That's just... Look at this guy's thing. Star Atlas and the community. We out here. And we just continue to push in the bear market, my friend.
I'm only disappointed that they cut off my Star Atlas sign, man. They
did. They did. They put you like pixelated 480p. the juiciest. And very serious. You're very stoked to get that. But at least you looked at the camera. Another thing, no one that won the awards wanted to look at the camera. They read a script and they left. It felt like, I swear, you all became AIs and just read off the scripts. It takes 10 seconds to just figure out what you want to talk about and look at a camera and speak it out. So I'm glad you took the effort. It just goes to show that you take effort to do things, and it's something that we don't have enough of in the space, unfortunately.
In fairness, and I don't want to reveal too much, but these were pre-recorded. We actually didn't know if we won anything. I think it was just part of their production. It's always hard to talk into a screen to yourself. But in any event,
cringe, isn't it? Yeah.
In any event, it really is a big shout out to our community. They've been diehard. They've been stalwarts. They've stuck with us through everything, man. And this is the second year we won the Community's Choice Award. The 2 years running. So it really is a testament to how strong our community is. And you were asking at the beginning, how confident am I and what carried us through? It's the community, man, being there behind us, supporting us through all of it, and means a lot to us.
It should. I hope so. You'd be surprised, though. Some of these guys that raise a bunch of money, then they forget that these ecosystem players exist, and the community just send a Discord manager and I'm out of here. I'm like, it's one of the reasons that at first, to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of Star Atlas, because I was like, they're a huge company, they probably have a bunch of ego problems. I don't care about them. But then I talked to you and I'm like, wait a minute, he's actually a human being. He's a nerd. I love this guy. So,
I'm in Discord.
It changed my perspective on that.
I'm in Discord every day, chatting with our community. Probably too much, to be honest.
It's probably unhealthy and unproductive, but it's got to be like that.
It's like first thing when I wake up in the morning and last thing when I'm going to bed. You
say goodnight to your community.
GM and GN.
Yeah. I saw a ton of them out there. I literally went on your Discord right before I went live. And I saw a good 30 people looking at the award show, which is insane. I don't think I saw any other community with that many people looking at it.
I think we had 100 in our Discord is what I heard.
I was at the end. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't get a chance to catch it myself, but yeah. I tucked them in every night. They like to be swaddled. It makes them comfortable.
Yeah, got to give him a little massage. All right, so week 6 of the Golden Ticket event. This thing's about to end. Is it FOMO? Is this breaking news? Are we all freaking out about this? There's a lot of things being given out. $150,000 worth of Star Atlas loot on the Star Atlas website. How do people take advantage of this fully, other than just playing Sage Labs?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the core way. There's 2 methods to secure these golden tickets. The first is through Sage Labs gameplay, you're extracting resources, and as I said, you're crafting components. Now, there are a bunch of ships and different assets that you can redeem those components for, or you can put them into this extensive recipe that is a golden ticket. We don't sell them. They are available for trade on the marketplace, but we don't sell them at all. So players have to craft them. The other method is through is through StarPath, that affiliate system. For every $500 cumulative your referees transact in, you get one of these golden tickets as well. And then you go to hedgehog.markets/star-atlas. I've got that memorized.
Nice.
And you can see the loot from all of the previous weeks. You see who's won. And we actually have that linked into the player profile system, so your name shows up if you won.
So you
But
get to flex. Got it.
uh, whether you want to or not, you are flexing your name out there. And yeah, you submit your tickets. You just have to submit any tickets for that week before I think it's 11 p.m. Pacific every Friday. Maybe it's 12 p.m. Pacific every Friday. You submit them, and then the raffle goes off, and the loot is distributed out to people. Now this is week 6 of week 8. I think we're actually on week 7, but this week is week 7. But yeah, it's almost over. But for what it's worth, Sage Labs is not almost over. I mean,
What's this?
people have loved Sage Labs. This is
Wait,
this is
what did I
Sage.
just uncover?
All right, we'll jump into that next. Sage Labs is
Yeah.
ongoing, and there's a possibility that we bring golden tickets back. We have some really cool economic updates coming out next week, so that's a little bit of a leak for you guys. But in any event, you've got 2 more weeks to participate, get your ships into labs, craft these components, and craft your golden tickets.
So, AKA, play as much Sage Labs as possible and take over Solana. That's the ultimate plan. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a surprising amount of people playing it. I remember Virtual was obsessing over Sage Labs and telling me it was the most revolutionary thing on the planet. And to be honest, it could be. It very well could be. You know, Sage Labs has clearly taken Solana by storm. It looks better than it did before. I think is this a 3D plane practically?
Yes. So this is not Sage Labs.
This is something else.
This is Sage 3D. Now this game,
Oh, is that not Sage Labs?
Sage Labs is more of a 2D environment. It's really attractive to the spreadsheet gamers. If you're an Eve player, the Sage Labs would be right up your alley. But this is kind of the next iteration of Sage. This is developed in Play
Oh,
Canvas. And this is the fully interactive 3D map where you can navigate around the universe and you participate in all of the same gameplay.
it looks the
Now,
same. Yeah.
what I think is incredibly cool about this is because all of the game logic is on Solana, this environment, this front end is pulling from the same data as Sage Labs. So if you're in this or in Sage Labs, you're actually playing the same game. You're just experiencing it in a different way. And this is coming out today.
Today, wow, breaking news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played a bit of Sage Labs and I was trying to understand it, and it's pretty identical, but it's the next iteration. You're making it 3D now. What's next? Is it going 4D, 4K, VR, extracting resources, crafting? It looks so much better. I'm so happy you did this because it was a pain to look at before. Like, it 100% was for spreadsheet nerds. You're getting there though. Look, even Crypto Stash is giving you props. You guys are unstoppable lately. Let's go.
Thanks, Stash. Thanks, Stash. Yeah. So, I mean, 3D was always the objective with the browser game. And to be clear, the reason we built out a browser product line was to get a product out faster, but also to improve accessibility. Not everybody is going to be able to play Star Atlas MMO in Unreal Engine. That's a pretty beefy build, right? And so, and especially as it takes time to optimize that and improve frame rates and reduce the hardware requirements. But this is accessible to everyone. All you need is a browser, an internet connection, and a browser, and you can play. People are playing Sage Labs on mobile. But we're excited for this. Just to be perfectly clear, this is a super early pre-alpha release. We wanted to get it out before the end of the year, and so we're releasing it today. You can play around, you can experiment with the 3D map. If you run into issues, just jump back into Sage Labs because all of your assets exist in both.
It's just the prettier version of Sage Labs is essentially what this is. A very, very early version of this. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, from what I'd observed, Star Atlas is working on 30 different products at the same time to try to build out the vision. So I'm like, fair enough. You know, you build that golden era, give people some waiting time, put that third-person shooter out there and get people excited. So let's talk about something that maybe isn't as accessible as golden era. Let's talk about Neotokyo, because your PFP changed. It used to be a dog. It was your face at some point. And now it's this thing. It's a Neotokyo rank 1 citizen is what people were telling me. What's going on with Neotokyo? have you gained any value from owning this thing? And what is the importance of having community NFTs?
Well, I do want to note I had a Mad Lads as my PFP for quite a while
Is that what the
as
dog
well.
was?
No, the dog is from one of the guilds in our community, Athia. They launched their own PFPs, and they actually gifted me that one that was the dog, and so I was rocking that for a little while. And then it was time to make the announcement on Neotokyo. A lot of games are joining this platform, this community, if you will. I've been quite interactive in their Discord as well. There's a ton of value to be had there, and a ton of value that we can actually contribute to that ecosystem. But we're very much looking forward to collaborating with other games going into the future, as well as tapping into new audiences and new communities. And so that's where I saw the value, and I also saw value in that. Automata's marketing budget is still effectively zero, right? We're just getting out of this bear market, and we're rebuilding our treasury. And so I, fortunately was able to make a purchase of this PFP and get Star Atlas the exposure by my personal participation. So I see a lot of upside there. I see a lot of potential visibility, and there's going to be some fun stuff coming from this that I can't share just yet. But yeah, it
Interesting.
was really about community activation.
Yeah, and why'd you choose the one with the hole in its chest? Is there a void in your heart? What's going on there?
Well, so I didn't even know this. Dom from our community team said this one is Bleach. It's an anime character.
Oh, Bleach, got it.
Yeah. I just figured if I'm going to go into this, I'm going to go big, and yeah, it's a top ranked PFP, and I'd rather be rocking one of the best.
Just casually repping the 300k PFP, hopefully by the end of the bull cycle, I'll also own one of those as well. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, a lot of conviction hopping onto Neotokyo with a rank 1 citizen. I have conflicting opinions from founders that own Neotokyos as well, where, some of them say there's a ton of value there are collaborations happening, and then some of them are like, I could just DM the person, I don't need to own a $30,000 NFT. I don't know how to feel about it too much, but I'm sure that if you can get collaborations from it, if you get exposure, any reasonable crypto gaming ecosystem is going to want to be on the top crypto gaming PFP collection. It's like common sense that you should probably be there. So that makes a lot of sense.
You're seeing almost every game join, and I haven't even been able to maximize the value within that Discord. But again, a lot of conversations are ongoing. It exposes us to new people, and so far I've been excited about the prospects there. For what it's worth, on the 300K, just since you have that up on screen, I went to extensive effort to make that transaction off market so that the actual price paid wouldn't be doxed, but that leaked apparently pretty quickly. So
How did they
yeah,
find that?
it's a good question. I don't know.
It's a good question. Networking. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, we don't need to know that. Yeah, TMI. Keep it somewhere else. All right. So that's fair enough. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe we can now dive into the decision to double down on Sage Labs, because Sage Labs, huge success on Solana. A lot of people are playing it. Clearly has a bunch of transaction volume. But the thing was, like, a lot of people were expecting the UE5 version to be the focus, because when they saw Star Atlas initially, they were like, okay, I'm really focused on the beauty of the graphics, best graphics, Star Atlas. That's the whole thing, the whole spiel. But now it's Sage Labs that's the focus, clearly. So what's been the whole change within the team's mentality from, okay, let's build out this UE5 build and focus on it 150%. And now we're like, okay, we're making these little mini games. We got Sage Labs, Sage 3D. We're building out the third-person experimental shooter, and then continuing on with the, combat racer.
Well, there's a misconception out there that we've halted or slowed development down on the Unreal Engine product. We haven't. The numbers that I shared following the team member reductions that we undertook in August did impact production team, but it also impacted engineering, it impacted marketing, it impacted everyone across the entire company. I shared 45 people internally still on our team, but we still work with 3 different co-creation studios, and more than half of our team is focused on building out the Unreal Engine product. So I think we have something like 90 people in total that are working full-time on Star Atlas, including those co-creation studios. So it's not that we've doubled down and focused all of our efforts on Sage Labs. That was the product that we could get out the fastest. And the irony, the reason why it's called Sage Labs is that it started as an internal testing tool that our engineers were using to play test all of these on-chain mechanics. If you had seen the original UI, and apologies to Michael Liu here, the head engineer who created the UI for engineers, it was not playable. It wouldn't have been playable at all. And so our team, what we did do is rally together, created new front end designs, and ship something out. And when that started to gain traction, which it did very rapidly, that's when we put additional effort into improving it. And our iterations and releases are coming out every couple of days, where we're patching and hot fixing and releasing new features in it. It's come a long way in just a couple of months. But the reason why Sage Labs is so powerful is not even necessarily the gameplay, but what people have to realize in Web3 is there's at least two components. It's the gameplay and it's also the economy, right? I mean, one of the biggest value propositions of Web3 NFTs are asset ownership, play to earn, and in our case, this idea of composability, where we have on-chain game systems that anybody can build into and around permissionlessly. But this was an economy activation, and it was a way to re-enable play to earn in an active format, and people have really attached to that. And we knew that our existing audience was very interested in the potential of generating revenue through gameplay. And so that's where we put the emphasis in that product that we could get out quickly, and it's been blowing up.
Makes sense. Yeah. You have some success, double down on the success. Simple as that. And that's an interesting observation. So the UE5 build hasn't slowed down at all since you did that cut down on your team. Too many teams are spending too much money, it felt like, on their teams. A lot of teams are doing cut downs. Last year, we saw just in tech alone, I mean, Twitter, they fired like half of their entire global workforce. So clearly they didn't need as many people as they thought they needed. So maybe that's just something worldwide. We don't need as many employees as we did before for what we were trying to build, which is kind of sad, but yeah, that's the future, right?
You saw, to your point, major reductions in staff across game studios in the traditional space, as well as tech companies. We took criticism for not cutting people earlier after the FTX event. We took criticism when we did cut people later in the year. The reality is this is just part of doing business. You need to adjust to market conditions. We were able to restructure the company in a way that had a considerably lower burn rate, so less expenses. And November was the first month we generated a profit since February of 2022, and
Wow.
December's carrying on with that. So we're in a really strong position actually right now in terms of runway, because of the changes that we implemented over the course of the year.
Reminds me of Tesla, where they hadn't had a profit for God knows how long. And then the second they had profit, everything just went crazy. So yeah, hopefully continues that way for y'all. All right, let's talk about Solana Crossroads, because Solana does a lot of events. You were talking about Breakpoint. Now there's Crossroads 2024. I know nothing about this, but what I do know is that it's very important to go to these events for several reasons. One of them is, at least I hope, meeting up with investors, meeting up with potential collaborations. Do you find it to be worth going to these crypto events? Because I need someone to convince me to go to crypto events.
I think it is, especially from our standpoint. I can't speak for you necessarily, but from our standpoint, it's an opportunity to touch base with existing community, meet face to face, as well as get people informed of everything that's been going on. So, one of the things that I just completed was this global tour, starting in Amsterdam at Breakpoint, but then a couple of weeks in Thailand. I went to the Philippines for the YGG games event, and then I finished in Guam, where we have a smaller but local community that was interested in putting an event on. And one of the statements that really resonates with me, almost everyone I spoke to said, "Oh man, I really love Star Atlas. I bought tokens, or I bought ships back in 2021. What have you been up to?" And to me, that just indicates that there's a lot of interest still there. There's a lot of existing community that just needs to be reactivated. It's not even about new user acquisition. If we can just inspire those people to come back in and start playing all of the things that have been developed over the last 2 years that they either lost sight of, lost track of, or lost interest in because of the market itself, well, we have a huge audience waiting on the sidelines, and we just need to bring them back in. And going to events like this, meeting face to face and talking to people is a great way to stimulate that network effect.
I see. So they've forgotten about you. They've faded. And now you're talking to them and you're like, wait, I actually still exist. You should check your tokens. Maybe there's something happening here. And that's the market effect. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, peer to peer, people to people, that's the way to do it. You can only do personal connections and bonds through going to people's events. I know Axie did a metric ton of events last bull cycle, and that was a big reason why they were so successful and why people were so loyal. So it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. I didn't think about it that way. So astute observation. Okay.
I think this Solana Crossroads is particularly impactful because the focus there is on developing countries. And one of my big initiatives for 2024 and beyond is to think about how we allocate capital in the form of marketing spend, but doing so in a way that has legitimate and tangible benefits for local regions. And you go to a conference, you sponsor a conference, you might spend $250,000 to have your banner on a logo somewhere. And of course, that's great for visibility, but $250,000 in Thailand, for example, where we can activate an education campaign where we can teach people how to play Web3 games, how to code for gaming, and also how to code for blockchain. Well, you're making a material impact to the opportunities that are available to these people for the rest of their lives, and you can do so for very inexpensively. We've got a little bit of a program that's in development, but for something like $5,000 for a school, you can put together an entire course. You can provide them with equipment and hardware that they need. You can get them involved in the game, and these are things that, again, these are skills that will carry forward in these people's lives forever. And so I don't think it's a surprise that developing countries, third world countries, Web3 gaming presents a huge opportunity because it breaks down geographic borders and opens up labor markets. The example I always use, just very quickly here, is imagine you can't buy the $100,000 ship in Star Atlas. Not many people can, but somebody will buy that ship and maybe not have the capacity to use it or the time to use it. Well, they can loan that out, or they can go into a scholarship system, or they can simply hire somebody from somewhere in the world to be the pilot of that ship, and you'll have the reputation of that captain, of that pilot, based off of all of their game actions, and it's all stored on chain. So we have a permanence around that, but the big thing here is I see Star Atlas as this almost like a nation state. It's a digital universe, and yes, it's a game, but there's real economy taking place here. And now people from all over the world have an opportunity to participate in that, where they would never have the same opportunity working locally. And so we can uplift society through these types of events. That's what Solana Crossroads focuses on, and I'm excited to be there and speaking.
I do need to go to some of these more international events. There's a lot you could do in third world countries for sure with very little capital. I remember I used to employ good like 50 scholars on Axie Infinity back in the day, and they were making more than they would make in their day jobs at some point. It was absurd what could happen. Obviously, it wasn't sustainable, and here we are today. Some people are still making decent amount of money off the skill to earn, but yeah, definitely, if you can find out how to do it, if you can give people the opportunity to pilot $100,000 ships, then there is a person in probably not even just a third world country, just globally, that is more than willing to pour in dozens, if not hundreds of hours on your ship to be able to capitalize fully on what it can generate. So it's incredible that I think maybe 2024 could be the first year that this will become more widespread. Maybe the whole play to make a living is an actual thing. Maybe it's sustainable. Maybe it's not sustainable. We'll see. But that is it's pretty touching. Hopefully we get more of those like Axie Infinity stories in 2024.
Well, that's what we're working towards, and we've always thought about sustainability from the beginning. So a lot of tech still needs to be built. A lot of infrastructure still needs to be built, but I do think 2024 is promising.
You still have 150 Axies? I'm sorry for your loss, my friend. Running Axie scholarships was a great experience. It was a great experience. I mean, I made pretty much all my money off breeding. Axie scholarships didn't really make much, but the fact that, you'd get a message like, I was able to buy bread because, like, I played some Axies for 3 hours. That's absurd that you could even have the opportunity to affect someone's life in that way. Like, people can eat because of you. It's crazy. So, I mean, you probably feel that every day. You're the CEO and founder of a company that employs a bunch of people. So, you know, they're counting on Star Atlas's success, and they're putting food on the table because of it. It's an incredible feeling to be able to provide that opportunity for people and to get that mutual beneficiary of like, okay, you're working for me, we're having an impact, you're able to put food on the table. Let's build something awesome.
It's a real feel-good story, though, too.
It's a feel good story, yeah. For
Yeah.
the dopamine.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And about feeling good, Wagner, you said, I'm willing to bet Star Atlas touches virtually, of course, every person on Earth within 10 years. It's like I don't know if I want to say this because we're on YouTube, but in League of Legends there was a term, and this term was I would like to do something to you, right? But it was only in game, and of course it was like you know, I would slay your champion in game. But they obviously meant something else. What are you talking about here? What happened at 12:54 a.m. December 13th, 2023?
Late night musings. I've been known to make a few big statements in my life, but this is something that I legitimately believe in, and this kind of goes back to our previous topic, which is we're creating a digital universe, a digital nation state of sorts, with open borders that anybody can participate in, and it really focuses again on the economy and labor markets, and of course the entertainment factor. There's a whole era in Web3, specifically through 2022 and through 2023, where everybody was like, it's not about the economy, it's just about making good
So
games.
cringe.
And I agree, like I agree, the game needs to be great, right? But I think that's the
It's both
given.
ways though.
You need both. That is the innovation. That's what Web3 to me is really all about. Again, ownership, things like play to earn, things like composability. We have a ton of people already in our community building out tools, building out optimizations, building out dashboards. They're all doing this on their own because our game state is on chain. And even the flip side data that you were looking at, that was put together by Afia. We didn't share that information about our revenues. They could just pull that information off of the blockchain, right? So all of this innovation is going on, and where Star Atlas is going is beyond gaming is a platform that allows people, developers, innovators, entrepreneurs to build their own applications around Star Atlas. Our build program itself, where you can use our IP, you can generate $1 million in revenue. You don't pay a single cent to us. We have 66 companies that have applied to that, a number of which have been approved. DYOR Roasters, a coffee brand. Gallia Art Station, producing 3D models of our ships. Star Artisan Shop, producing jewelry and merchandise. Gallia Merchants, they're doing apparel, swag, computer peripherals. These are people that are building Star Atlas brands using our IP and proliferating the image of Star Atlas. And so what I mean is not only through gameplay and not only through labor markets and not only through play to earn, but because we're creating an open ecosystem and open platform, either our product or derivatives of our products are going to touch people all over the world.
Everywhere. 66 different companies, and that's just the beginning.
This was launched like 6 months ago, right?
Oh, so why haven't I had Star Atlas coffee?
Check out DYOR Roasters.
DYOR Roast. You have to send me the link for that. I'll buy some. I'll leave it right there. Does it go bad? Does coffee go bad?
I
think it does.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Oh man, never mind.
Yeah. Hey, but have a
That kind of
token,
ruins everything.
or drink the coffee and just prop up the bag.
Prop up the bag.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So,
Yeah.
Gallia Art Station gave me a very cool model of our rainbow arc. I have not had an opportunity to set it up behind me yet, but absolutely beautiful 3D printed model of the ship. So
is it on your page?
You can check out Gallia Art Station on here on Twitter.
Gallia Art Station. Oh, they follow me. Yeah, there you go. Is it this?
Yep.
Oh, that looks sick. You know what that reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me of that Lego I saw. I don't know if it was your son or someone else that built out.
That was another community member.
I was already. I'm accusing you, your son. No, it was a little bit down here. I swear, I will find it eventually. Maybe I won't build it. Okay, I can't find it.
I post a lot, so
yeah, you post a lot. Anyway, it was like a Lego. It looked like this. I'm like, so what is this? What ship is this?
This is the Rainbow Arc. It's a large freighter. So it's a
Rainbow Arc freighter. That makes a lot of sense. So this pops up open. People hop in there, put the goods, services. This closes. This is the front of the ship over here. I have to see these in game, but that looks sick.
Yeah,
yeah.
this is one of the most popular ships in labs right now because you're able to move, like all of those resources are geolocated and coordinate based. So if you're on one star base and you've extracted resources, you need to combine those with some other resources. You have to move them around the map. And so this is a very good ship for moving large quantities of goods.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think this is a good way to end this, moving a lot of goods and services, talking about how you want to, virtually touch the hearts of billions upon billions of people. I'm excited to see, hopefully, the next 1, 2, maybe 3 months, we get back here. We see, hopefully, things are going even better than they are now. Historically speaking, they do. So that's good news for you, good news for me. Overall, it's a much better state than the last time we 1v1'd. It was a very interesting 1v1 to say the least. Maybe we'll 1v1 on that third-person shooter by the time that ends up releasing. But it was a pleasure to have you. I know you've got a lot of things to do. This is, of course, Star Atlas, and check it out. And I'm just gonna point this out right here. If you would like to go ahead and support the channel, and you are a Star Atlas connoisseur, go to the link in the description. Use my buddy code. play.staratlas.com/ I have no idea what all these little letters are. Until the next time, thank you, Wagner, for joining the channel. We'll see y'all.
Thanks, man.
All right, let's end this.